Some of the biggest fucking YouTubers out there right now started with doing reviews.
Okay, set it off.
Tried one earlier, but I'm in a lobby.
No, because I'm gonna come and try to beat you to it. That's
What are you doing?
you
doing your CEO shit or your motorcycle shit?
CEO.
Alright, empty. Anytime you're doing those things, empty your lobby.
That's what we just did. We got one guy.
Yeah, anytime you want to do anything other than your wall missions and your motorcycle club, fucking go into a private public.
You hopping back in there?
No, I'm cooking at the moment. I'm sitting here chatting. Got nothing better to do while I'm waiting on the grill to coal out, you know.
Yeah, I wouldn't know just yet because it's too cold to grill up this way yet.
I never got too cold to grill here.
Well, aren't you just so fucking lucky?
Now, usually in January, it'll drop sub-zero here. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
We don't get no snow, but it gets fucking cold. That ocean wind ain't no joke.
No.
But
No, it isn't.
especially when we got 15-story hotels and working on the 15th floor. That ocean wind ain't no joke, I can tell you.
No.
This shit's whipping about 60 miles an hour, and it's colder than ice. Freezes you pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But I ain't got that problem no more. I don't work on 15-story hotels. I do work at a beach house, though.
Oh.
But again, it didn't. January's our worst month, and it didn't do shit here in January. Like, it got cold for 2 days, and then it was like 70 degrees the next day. It was crazy.
See, I don't understand what's going on with the weather. I mean, the last couple years up here, it's been really odd. It's been a hit or a miss. It's
Well, you know what's
Either-
actually happening, right? And it happens all the time, it happens over eons, but what's happening is the Earth is slowly in a rotation, not a circular rotation as we think, you know, it revolves around the equator type shit, but it actually, the poles are rotating themselves. Years back, we discovered we were off axis. Well, they'd actually discovered every year we get a little bit more off axis.
what they say is off axis.
Right. Well, what's actually happening is the poles are flipping. We've been in a slow motion for eons, just like any gyroscope would be without gravity. Yeah, you pulled them all out, I see. Anyways, so basically what happens is every time the poles reverse, we go into an ice age.
Yeah.
And then when they reverse again, we go from an ice age into a heating age. It's a natural cycle. We may be accelerating this cycle with our obnoxious gases we're spewing, you know, and our pollution, but it's going to happen whether we boost it or not. That's just real talk.
We have no, and I say this wholeheartedly, we as people have no fucking clue what we're actually doing.
No.
I mean, we say, and we say as scientists and as geologists, we know without a measure of a doubt that this, that, or the third thing, this is the truth, this is reality,
and it always changes. That's the thing, though. Every time, everything that's ever been proven has been proven false.
I mean,
back in the day, they proved the Earth was flat. How they proved it, I don't know, but they proved it.
They proved
and then they
it.
went, well, the Earth isn't flat; it's round. Watch, I'm going to go all the way around it. See?
But what you're talking about is something that, and I'm just, this is personal. Favorite of mine. Tesla. He came up with this theory 115 years ago that the geomagnetism of the Earth was constantly fluctuating.
Which it is.
Yeah. And he proved it in Colorado Springs.
He was a electricity fucking genius. That man knew one thing, and that was electricity.
Oh, he didn't even just. Yeah, but because he knew
magnetism, magnetism technically is a form of
electric. It's a form of current.
Mm-hmm. Electric power, more or less.
Because really, in all reality, electricity is more or less magnetic
current.
Yeah.
It's just it's a form of wavelength. Light in itself is technically a form of electricity because it is a wavelength, a repeating wavelength. That's what electricity is. It's just to what magnitude. That's why lasers can provide power.
Exactly. Power and heat.
Something I don't know if you ever heard, but they actually created mass from a laser. In other words, they created mass from light in itself. What they did is they took...
I've never heard that one because it goes against everything we know about geothermal physics.
It goes against everything. Okay, light is a wavelength, whereas mass is a solid being. There's something there. There's mass there. Okay, but what they actually did is they took this high-powered beam. I think it was a green beam, the highest light spectrum beam we can fire.
Yeah.
Anyways, they jacked the shit out of the power, and what they ended up coming up with was microscopic particles of mass raining down below this beam. And they initially thought that it was somehow collecting the particles out of the air, so they put it in a vacuum.
And it still created.
And they still mass by firing this light beam.
Okay.
Basically, it's so intense, it's bombardment of whatever particles that we don't fully understand yet. It's slamming them together and creating mass from them. Essentially, essentially the same thing. Yeah, well, they're saying that's essentially the same thing that the Big Bang Theory was created from. It's so much energy being released at one time that mass has to be created. There is no other way to expel the energy.
I've heard every argument for the Big Bang Theory and how it could actually have the reality of the Big Bang
Force Mutual. How can I be of service?
If there was technically a Big Bang, I personally feel that the most plausible thing that could have popped, that could be, I guess, a theory, whatever, but it's never been proven, none of them have, is that the Big Bang Theory was actually an implosion which created an explosion. Every implosion creates an explosion.
You're talking, okay, so you're talking about thermodynamics or astrothermal dynamics.
Astrodynamics. Basically,
I'm on the clock. What you want? Some wheels?
And it's not even that, it's part of physics too. Like, we create explosions by creating pressure. We also figured out we can create an implosive explosion.
Yes.
In other words, you create so much.
All right, the confirmation came through. You're getting paid.
It has to
Good
go
work,
out.
peoples.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Essentially is a black hole.
Essentially a black hole. So how many times has that black hole formed, sucked up all the matter it could until it couldn't handle it, and then exploded?
Think of how many millions or billions of stars have had the supernova in our galaxy or in the universe.
How many have? Who's to say that amount of energy doesn't create planets? Get what I'm saying? If we can create mass from a laser, what says that the amount of energy that is stored in space our sun in itself is supposedly a ball of gas. What makes that gas stay together? There's got to be some kind of mass pulling that gas to it. Okay, that immense amount of pressure and heat energy has to create mass. Get what I'm saying? The Earth is the same thing. The Earth is the same thing. The Earth was created by pressure and heat, and it created mass. Our liquid center is still there, no matter how many eons it's been. It's still freaking there. That liquid center was the beginning, just like every other star. That amount of energy has to create mass. It doesn't just collect mass, it has to create mass. Energy cannot be... Energy, and physics says this, energy cannot be consumed, energy cannot be used up. Energy can only be converted. In other words...
Well, yeah, but it can be technically consumed.
No. In consumption, what is actually happening is conversion.
You're transferring the energy from one...
You're converting.
Yeah, I understand, but it's being consumed in essence first, because it's got to be consumed to become converted.
Well, no, not necessarily. Like, we consume food to transfer it into energy. Well, the energy in the food of, you know, all its minerals, blah, 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 the energy produced... put into the plant in its growth, we consume, we eat it, that fuels us. We can fuel, okay, in consumption terms. But what consumption technically means is to use it up. Okay, we don't use up the energy that we consume technically. I mean, we do in our essence. We convert it into other things and then expel it.
Yeah, because it's throughout its cycle, it's still energy. It's
just different types of energy.
Because I mean,
it's never actually consumed.
Yeah.
Which, in that statement in itself, also allows the possibility of spiritual energy or ghosts. We have electric energy running through us. Where the fuck does it go when we die?
Yeah, this is a good point.
We also found out that rocks, whether magnetic or not, exude energy. Every fucking rock on our planet exudes energy, including sand.
Yeah, and you know what? And it's funny you say that, and because I was just having this discussion, and he made a different statement, but he's...
Shit gets deep when you talk with me. I don't know why. Shit just gets
no,
deep.
no.
Continue. Continue.
But we had the same, and I referenced The Matrix. Because he said, oh, there's no such thing as transference of energy, you know, from one plane of existence to another.
That's a lot.
Which I think it's bullshit.
Well, that's a stupid statement. That's a stupid statement. Energy is for next. Right? We do it. And the simplest view of that, electricity and TV. What we do take AC current, changing it to current, that DC current into light. All right. And simple transference with